The only thing I have is a notepad, so it's not really
I love
particularly
your
valuable.
basicness. It's perfect.
Yeah, just like last year. It's perfect.
Yep.
Yep. I don't really need to present that because I don't have a game of the year. I have games that I played this year. I only beat one game this year. I only completed a single game. So I don't even feel really particularly comfortable saying here are the games that everybody should be, playing or concerned about, because I didn't finish a goddamn one of them except for Sea of Stars.
Except for Pokemon. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it was definitely not a Pokemon game. Although in the past week or so, I have watched the first 9 episodes of Pokemon anime from 1997,
nice.
Trying to get my daughter to watch any goddamn thing other than Mickey Mouse Clubhouse because it haunts
Public
me.
domain Clubhouse.
Yeah, right.
Not that Mickey Mouse. That Mickey Mouse is not public domain.
Yeah.
Man, so tired of that show. Anyway, it's
Pokemon
now the
Concierge just came out, man. That's
yeah. Trust me, it showed up on Netflix, and Kitty was like,
nice.
"Do you see this?" But it's now the Pikachu show, by the way, just for the record.
Okay.
And anyway, that's the closest thing I'm going to come to beating a Pokemon game for a long while. Anyway, so Sea of Stars is the only game that I actually managed to complete this year, and that's probably only because of how linear of an RPG it is, how relatively short it is, and to be honest, it's kind of easy. It's good, and I liked it. But if you're looking for that long exposition of a role-playing game that lets you do a lot of things and find a lot of items and create a weird build, it's not that game. But I did like it. So I'm gonna start with the other games that I played were notable, but I can't really. It doesn't like fall into the spirit of the 2023 Game of the Year conversation. The first one is Orb of Creation, which is a idler. What's the word I'm looking for? Idler, but what's the Zach? Help me out. What's the word I'm looking for this type of game? Incremental. Thank you. Incremental idler. Basically, it's make numbers go up. Yeah, but it's very, very well done. But it's still in early access, and early access I always like big asterisk. And like this one is like really an early. I mean, like the dude's changing stuff all the time. Like that screenshot, like what some of this stuff looks like doesn't exist already, because he's already changed it. But it's really, really good if you like incremental idler games. It's kind of cream of the crop. So whenever it actually does come out, it's going to be really good. In that same vein, this game basically doesn't count because it didn't actually come out in 2023. But it mattered to me because I spent a shit ton of time playing it, and that was Melvor Idol. It's what you play if you don't want to actually play RuneScape, but you're like, I want to get all the skills. Then you play Melvor Idol, and all that stuff happens without you having to touch anything, and that's really enjoyable. Like I just mined for 12 hours or 24 hours, and then I check back in. It's like, yeah, you did a lot of mining. I'm like, I sure did. And then I pick another thing and do that. It's really good. And then the last one in that category is Baldur's Gate 3, which you wouldn't think goes with those other two, but it does for me because I played it for like 4 hours and then never went back to it, but it's really good. So I feel like of the vast majority of the things I did, I don't have that much to talk about it because I played so little of it by comparison. But it's obviously worth mentioning as far as games of 2023. I guess I'll add Final Fantasy VII Remake to that too, because it was a 2022 PC game, right?
Yeah.
2020. And it was 2020 or 2021 for PS4, PS5.
Right.
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah, it was the end of 2020, and then it was a year and a half later, and then it was 2022 for, I think. Anyway, either way, Final Fantasy VII Remake plays really well on Steam Deck. Looks really good on the OLED. HDR is kind of broken. That seems to be a common thing, no matter what system you play it on. That's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
But it's a really good game, and I've played the majority of the opening section of the PC port of Final Fantasy VII, and that's all I've ever done. I think I played a bootleg copy and it broke at certain parts, and then I never beat it because of that. So that's all I've played of Final Fantasy VII. So this is the most where I've gotten to so far is the most I've ever played of it. Aerith is in my party. I don't know if that says anything about where I am. I don't know.
Flower Garden.
Yeah, I got past the Flower Garden part. I beat the Turk boss.
She's really funny, by the way.
I love her. The sense of humor that they give, like the writing is really good. I think that the dialogue is all pretty high caliber in the grand scheme of things. I think it's interesting that Final Fantasy VII Remake has what it describes as a 2 battle system. One is like the easy mode where it's supposed to be more like a role-playing game where he auto attacks and then you just select abilities.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like that to me because it was just like, hey, you're gonna die faster in this game mode. Like his movement is terrible, his dodges are terrible, his attacks are terrible, and you get to choose an ability every now and then. I don't know. I found it unusable, to be honest. I was hoping that it would be kind of like a cool thing where if I was trying to go to bed, it would be a quieter thing because I don't have to button mash to use attacks. And I was just like, oh, I'm just dying instead. That's interesting. But anyway, I really like Final Fantasy VII.
I'm playing it on PS5 right now. I really wish there was a way to play it mobile, like a PS5 version that's mobile, but there isn't. There's nothing that you can play PS5.
You could get it on Steam Deck. That's really good.
Maybe that's a good idea. Yeah. It's a lot cheaper than buying the Portal.
That's true. All right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just rebuy it, I guess. So well. And then the last one I'm going to put, this one, it can't quite go into my other category for no other reason other than the fact that one of the side questing people helped make it, and that's Typecast.
Never heard of it.
Well, then you fucked up for this year. Just reflect on your mistakes. Typecast was like, honest to God, one of the probably like top 5 in terms of time that I put in onto games this year. Which just Steam says 22 hours. And that's, I mean, all of my shit's approximate. But oh my shit, I've gifted it to my buddy, and he was playing it at least as recently as last week because he's got a bunch of new achievements. But Typecast is hyper unique in a field of games where we have shit like talking about Spider-Man 2 in the Game of the Years, which is like the most milquetoast video game that we're getting right now. It's nice to have shit that's A, new and unique, and B, cheap as hell. What you guys were selling it for like $350 on sale or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just really cool. So it's an arcade. I mean, I guess you could say it's Mario Teaches Typing, except it's arcade bullet hell. And it's
there's a trailer you can play.
Is there a trailer? The first one?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. The first one. So yeah, our boy's official electric Gutter Arcade. Who's Gutter Arcade?
That's Nathan.
Okay.
Pretty much, he came to us with the game, and then he's like, "This is my last game under this." So now it's just us. Official
anyway,
electric.
It's a game that like you can just kind of sit and grind out for a minute. The game, like the rounds can be as short or as long as you want it to be, and it can be kind of intoxicating when you play it like that. Because I have definitely just lost a bit of time just hitting the restart button. Just dangerous. Parries are really hard. And
Street Fighter Third Strike parry window.
It's rough. It's real short. The buddy that I was playing it with, he is a fighting game player, and he was like, "Dude, these parries suck." I was like, "Yeah." Well, he wasn't a Third Strike player. But anyway, Typecast is really good. I had a lot of fun with it. More than I was expecting to.
It's one of those games I hate watching people like play.
It's really hard. It's tough. It's like because the camera moves, and like as you move the mouse to move your character, and the camera moves constantly, like every little movement, and so it's just like it's not it's not particularly fun to watch somebody
And
do it. And
people
also
suck.
like especially if you've played it, you have an expectation of how you would do it, and no two people are going to play this game the same, like straight up. All right, let's get into the rest of them. I'm actually I'm gonna ask Libra. I played a lot of, but I don't think that one didn't come out last year either.
No, it didn't.
That was older, but S Libra is really cool.
It's a wild thing last year, right? Because it's a new year. Oh.
Yeah, right. And S Libra has a new
I feel like
DLC
JJ would
coming.
really like this game.
Yeah.
JJ, you'd think that S Libra absolutely fucks for sure.
Okay.
Like
Wow.
no question.
It's made by a solo Japanese dev, and he has no artistic talent, so he uses Getty's images.
Dude, he just like fucking superimposes Getty images and like puts filters on them, and it's kind of sick. It's actually kind of crazy.
I love it.
Happy New Year, Lisa. But all right, so did I get rid of all of my games that didn't come out this year? I think I did. All right, so other games that I liked a lot this year. Dave the Diver.
Okay.
I know that we just talked about Cocoon and indie games, and I know that Dave the Diver, tough subject, but it was still pretty fun. I didn't beat it though, because you hit
indie game of the year.
No, you hit a certain part in the game, and you're like, we were so close. I was having so much fun, and then it's downward. I mean, like I said, I only beat one game this year, so take this for what it's worth. But I couldn't quite reach the finish line. Dredge, super good. That was a lot. Dredge is a really great game. Fishing, inventory management, Lovecraftian horror. A little bit light on the horror part. It's completely avoidable. I think it's too avoidable. I wanted and I'm not a spooky game player, but I wanted the spook a little bit more superimposed into my game, because the whole thing is supposed to be like, go out further, stay out later, get more terrified, and more Lovecraftian horrors show up, but you're like, oh, I don't want to, so you just don't. and like I've completely avoided the whole aspect of the game. It was kind of a letdown for me, but it's still really, really good game. What else we got? Cocoon. I have also been playing Cocoon, but I've been slow rolling it because it's I only have it on Game Pass, and most of my game time is spent on Steam Deck. And when I got the OLED, I didn't dual boot it again, so I don't have Windows anymore, which means that I'm doing it mostly on streaming, which, while still fine, isn't like when you don't have. It's crazy. Like when my brain just like switches off when I don't have quick resume. So like I don't have quick resume when I'm using the streaming for Game Pass. And it's like, okay, I guess I'll just not play this unless I'm specifically thinking and trying to do it actively. It's crazy. But Cocoon's really good. I just got to the part like where Jack gave a better explanation of it, but I only have 3 of the little orb worlds. I don't. Is there only?
It gets crazy.
Yeah. So like it's already kind of nuts, and I'm apparently not even that deep into it yet. But yeah, highly recommend Cocoon. Tears of the Kingdom, liked it a lot. Good game. Wasn't that big. I personally liked it more than Breath of the Wild, but Breath of the Wild just didn't get me a lot. I thought it was too shallow in what it offered, and I thought Tears of the Kingdom did more. But it's still, some of the things were so cool. Like when you realize that the shrines are all the root things, and then you do 25% of them, you're like, okay, actually, I did like the coolness aspect has waned, and now I no longer care. And then you're like, okay, I'm just gonna go begin it, and then you do. and then you beat the game.
And then his health bar goes and it breaks. It's like,
I will say I enjoyed getting all of the memories, and then
it's the game of the year. I can tell my story about Zelda.
And then one thing I'm almost done with my thought. The one thing that sucks is that they're so dedicated to the thing of like, do this however you want, that you get the memories out of order, and it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. I don't care how
Yep.
open you want to be. Tell a goddamn story. Like, there's already so little of it. Tell it in a like. Choose.
At least do it good.
I almost wish that they would have let you get the memories in any order, but they
always played them in the same order.
But they always
Yeah.
played them in the
Yes.
same order. Exactly.
Yes, like their whole point was that like specific emblems like were related to specific memories. Like, who gives a shit? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, no, if you had just related it like and played any memory based on whatever emblem that wherever you found the tier, nobody would care. Nobody thinks about that kind of shit. But just play the memories in a specific order so it makes goddamn sense.
No, here's what happened with me. I got the flight suit where you could like fly for forever,
That's right.
and you like can drop down without having any fall damage. Really cool. So I was like flying around doing a bunch of stuff. I seen a dragon in the sky. I'm like, what's that? So I go over there and I find the master sword. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this? And then I'm like, okay, so what? And then I do the story. I'm like, oh man, I already know the twist. And like, yeah.
I mean, like that part's fine, I think. Except that like maybe the Master Sword doesn't show up until you get all the memories or something.
There's a lot of ways to do it, and they just chose they did it the same way they did the last one, which doesn't make any sense to me. You had 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, like making like the problem is that the coolest things of what Tears of the Kingdom can do are things that I'm not interested in participating in. I'm not gonna build a mecha robot. I'm not gonna like blow Kurikos into outer space. Like,
you're not gonna blow Kurikos
or Koroks, sorry.
Okay, don't blow Koroks, please.
And I was like, I just don't like that.
That's
just
like
all neat, but like
that's like the third party aspect of it, right? The fun part is like being like, oh, here's a wall. I'm gonna walk through it because I'm gonna find a way to do it, and you do it. That's cool. That's the fun part. Building a mecha is not the intended thing, but it's fun to be like, you know what? I'm gonna do this my way, and I'm gonna put a block right here so I can go through this mountain.
It is cool how easy it is for anybody to break it. I will say that. That's the coolest part. But anyway, Tears of the Kingdom. We were like, it started the year off real fucking strong though. Because it is just a really good game. Alan Wake, I wish that I just had like a week so that I could sit down and do nothing other than beat Alan Wake 2. Because that's it's what my brain wants. But it's not a good time for me to do so at the moment. So I want to say I'm like 6 or 8 hours into Alan Wake 2.
Have you gotten to Coffee World yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I went through Coffee World.
Okay.
Because I did, and then I did the musical number, and I forget where I'm at right now. I'm playing out. I don't know.
You've seen
I'm at the hotel.
The good parts. Okay, the hotel's great. So, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just I know what it's capable of doing, and with how much I loved Control, and how much I loved Alan Wake 1 back in the day, and so I need the time. Please God, give me time. And then I'm going to finish up. I picked this one up real late, but Pizza Tower. If I had bought Pizza Tower 6 months ago, there's a good chance that it would like I would have beaten it, and I would have said like I didn't beat any other games, but Pizza Tower is the game of the year for me. Like that's very potentially would be a real possibility if time worked differently. Wow. But I mean, like Super Mario Brothers 3 was like my all-time game, and I feel like Pizza Tower, as different as it is, has so many of the hallmarks of the perfectly crafted platforming game that Super Mario Brothers 3 did. It's like it stands out from everything else. As good as Cocoon I'm hoping will be. I mean, they're too so different. Like they're so different. But like I peed my first level. I told my wife that. I told my wife that
you gotta pee. Dude.
I gotta pee. It was a boss fight, so it doesn't
Wear
really
a
count. It doesn't
diaper.
really count. But yeah, I mean, the game has rating systems for every level. It goes
This
from
guy's peeing.
D through S, and then if you get every secret and every ingredient and don't take damage, you can P the level. It's pretty impressive. The P stands for pizza, or pepperoncini, maybe. I don't know.
And you have to run through the level twice, forward and backwards.
Yeah, that's exactly how.
No, well, not only that, but you actually have to take, in order to get a P on the level, you have to run it back twice.
Yeah.
Which is really tough. But
It's
I
good.
don't know. Pizza Tower is like something else. It's real.
It took what
They were
Wario
cooking something over
Land
there.
4 was doing and made a much better
sure.
game out of Wario.
It's not
Land
in
4.
and I liked the Wario Land games. It is not. It's not close. Like the level of feel good that Pizza Tower has is off the charts. It's crazy. And then the other game that I bought, because I bought this during the winter sale, was Ghost Trick, and I never played Ghost Trick back in the DS days. What are we? Are we on like 12 years since Ghost Trick since it first came out? Ghost Trick's pretty killer. That's a really good aesthetic. They should make
Ghost Trick, man.
They should make that game again.
The exact same game again.
Yeah,
The game has one of the best twists in gaming of all time.
I'm waiting. Oh,
you are a ghost Trick.
Zach never told me what else to buy during the Steam winter sale. So
still got it going on. Hurry up.
But I was thinking that, and I'm done. That's my whole list for everything that I played this year. But Zach, I was thinking that I should have bought Doki Doki, because I never played it.
Literature Club.
Yeah, Doki Doki Literature Club, because mostly just made me think of it because JJ said the big twist, but unfortunately I kind of know the big twist of Doki Doki, so I don't know how much it would still hit, but
still good.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my games of the year. If I had to give it anything, like if I can think about what it would be if I played all of them out, it would probably be between Pizza Tower and Alan Wake 2.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So just imagine that I beat those and then I picked one.